Hi garden friends, Debbie here. The next few weeks I will be giving you some updates of all my gardens. I have my own garden, a raised bed in a nearby community, a farm garden, and also a cut flower garden. So I'm going to be doing updates the next couple of weeks of all of those gardens, so stay tuned. First up is my farm garden, and that is a 12 by 12 plot in a community that's about 20 minutes away. So this year I tried two methods, and the first one was straw bale gardening, and I will link the video above of that video where I planted potatoes, I planted peppers, I planted squash and watermelon and tomatoes. And the watermelon, I might have one. I did, out of the 3 straw bales, one completely nothing happened with it. The other one, I have a couple of things sprouted, and it might be a zucchini, maybe a small watermelon. And then the other one has cauliflower and a summer squash that's doing really well. So I would say for me, it wasn't successful, but that is user error because it needed more water. So if you have a drip system to it, it would definitely be successful. Or if you were able to go and water every day, also would be successful. For me, again, it's about 20 minutes away. I left for 3 weeks and went on a vacation. So my husband was taking care of them and actually went a couple times a week, and it's just not enough for straw bale gardening because it's definitely relying on the water. So after I got back home, I just put the hose in it and just let it soak the whole straw bale, and that seemed to work for the straw bales. But again, if you have a drip system, that would really do well. And then as far as the California weave, that did well. I have a bunch of different kinds of tomatoes, and I will show you my variety. I also planted a bunch of potatoes. Now the year before I planted potatoes, and I had success with a couple of them. A couple didn't do as well, so I didn't grow those this year, but I grew the ones that were successful. The next time I go, we're going to dig up the area and see if there's any potatoes in there. We did see a couple when we were pulling weeds, but it was definitely not as successful, and I'm not sure, again, if the straw that we put down had something that inhibited growth, because yeah, I didn't see potatoes have blossoms, and once those kind of like die off, you know, you can harvest those potatoes. And I maybe have a couple, which is again unfortunate, but you live and you learn, right? Every year is different, and every year you learn something new about gardening. So I wouldn't call it a complete failure, just that something that I can improve on next year. What I think I'm going to do next year with my potatoes is my raised beds that I have in a nearby community. I think I'm going to put those in that raised bed. Everything seems to do really well there. And then for my own garden, I have a couple of raised beds here. I'm going to be putting my lettuces, because that's what we need every day for salads. And for us now, we have to go to those community gardens to cut that and then bring it back home. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier next year and plant the lettuces and maybe some small determinate tomatoes at home, and then the potatoes I can put in the raised beds, and that should work out better. Here is a before of my farm garden and an after, and then some of the fruit or produce that I did get out of that garden. I got quite a few tomatoes, so that's good, and I see one summer squash, and I still don't have any cauliflower yet, but it looks like it's just about there. And the other 2 littler things, I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time to get fruit off of that, but it did have a flower last time I was there. So we'll see what those are. It could be a zucchini or a very small watermelon. So if you used either of these methods, straw bale gardening or California weave, would you please leave a comment in the description box below and share your successes, and if you want to say your failures too, so that we can all learn from that. I always learn from this community and other gardeners. So again, if you've ever tried either of these methods and you've had success, please leave it in the comments below. Next week I'll be sharing my raised beds that I have in a nearby community, and that I had salads, and right now the salads are pretty much done. What I have left is maybe a little bit of some heads of lettuce. I'm going to put in some spinach and pull all the marigolds, I believe, the next time I go. And the other one, I have onions and celery. It was my soup raised bed, so I did get quite a few onions and scallions. And I have some Roma tomatoes. We just made some salsa, so I'm sure I'll have more of those Roma tomatoes and peppers there. I also have some herbs that I would like to dry as well. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell for any future videos. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So here is a variety of some of the tomatoes that I grew. If you want to check out this link from earlier this year, and that is all of my vegetable seed haul and the tomatoes that I'm growing here. So there's all different varieties here. And the tomatoes, of course, was a success, and I have way more than I need of tomatoes. That's my vegetable harvest from my farm garden and also my raised bed garden, and these are from my raised beds in my garden right here. So lots of tomatoes here. I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching and happy gardening. Bye-bye.